Greetings and welcome, everyone, and welcome to All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 689. I'm one of your host, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
There he is. Corey Feinsod.
Hey.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Hello.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. We are live. Now we are live on Twitch. We are live on Tuesday night, starting at 8 o'clock-ish, depending on technical difficulties. But we are live right now. And we're good. And we have audio in there. We're good. So, welcome, folks. If you missed these live broadcasts, we're over on YouTube. Subscribe to both channels to get notified when we go live or when we post. That way you know and you don't miss this great content. Guys, I think just out of the pure principle of the gravity of the news, rather than what we've been up to right off the bat, I'd like to just go with the lead. And unfortunately, the passing of one of the great ones of all time, Akira Toriyama. It was like tragic news, sad news that happened last week, and I just thought we'd open the episode with this news. I mean, impactful. Like, I can't describe how impactful this was. This guy was in terms of just for myself. I don't know how maybe else in the podcast, but for me, like introduction to anime essentially was this guy. So it's crazy. Like it's just it was horrible to hear the news of his untimely passing, unfortunately. It sucks. It's just a best way for me to say it sucks, right? Got nothing.
It was wild because I think it broke for people Friday night in America, and the family gave it a week, right, out of respect for them to just do the funeral and everything like that before they allowed the news to get out into the public. So they weren't hounded by journalists and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's a very big deal. And it's tragic, really. I guess the details came out today that he had a brain tumor.
Oh.
And he had surgery, and it looks like the surgery did some damage that they didn't catch, or was irreparable or something like that. Which is just a shame. He was really young. I think he was
68.
68, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just...
It's sad.
He was still working, and he had a lot of projects to do and stuff like that, so...
He revived Dragon Ball with Super and was working on more of that. And then video game-wise, I mean, we could talk about him in video games, too. I mean, there's that much impact of this guy in the world.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's best known for, Dragon Ball and stuff like that, but even in the game industry... he was the main character artist designer for Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
And that predates Final Fantasy, which they even admitted, Sakaguchi, father of Final Fantasy, admitted that back then Square was a smaller company, and they were like, well, we might not be able to match Dragon Quest, but if we can do smaller but faster games, we can get sequels out faster and outpace Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest. So that was their goal initially and stuff like that. So, I mean, really, just you can't understate how big of an influence he had. I mean, not just directly like those things. Obviously, Chrono Trigger, one of the greatest of all time. He was,
Chrono Trigger, absolutely,
part of the dream team for that with the character designs.
Iconic artwork, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really everywhere. From Mario, which was inspired by Arale from Dr. Slump. Yeah. The running animation, the Tanuki suit, that kind of stuff.
That's right.
Sonic. I mean, you have
Sonic
Chaos Emeralds, the supersonic designs and stuff like that. I mean, all that was from Dragon Ball.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you almost could immediately recognize Toriyama artwork. That's what I'm saying. Like you could just it when you see it, you know it. That's why it's amazing to have. Like in that style and how he stuck with it and it works. And the more you read, about him this week, about, stuff and how he felt like he was he was like, he was not great for the anime universe when he was talking about his characters. I'm paraphrasing obviously, but he was like, I took some liberties where I should have animated this more. And he's like, that's why when I went back, he was talking about Dragon Ball Super. I think he had a chance to redo a lot more things and like bear down and like work on it more than he did on the Dragon Ball Z. He was going to just be a advisory role, and he decided that he wanted to focus on Super and like how good that that looks amazing, and his inspiration for characters is so good, and he doesn't give himself credit. Like that's what I'm saying. Like he was talking about how he like didn't focus enough on it, and when he was younger, that was one of his last interviews. He was talking, and you just think about like, man, he killed it on those things. Like that is such a big impact on, like you said, Sonic, just impact on other characters, but like
Well, other
iconic
anime too, and like
manga.
the
I mean,
streaming of
manga
like
as well.
Sojin
Oh yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
general is just
And
ridiculous. How like everything is kind of got
descended
a
from
Dragon Ball influence.
yeah, impactful. I mean, I what was it? That is everywhere. He's on the sports broadcast is passing him. He's in like
But
I
he's
believe.
a worldwide icon. Like,
I
as
mean, I
far as
believe
like,
was it
people may
Mexico?
not know his name exactly, but they know his artwork. They know
Yeah.
Dragon Ball. They know like Goku. Like it gets everywhere. Like it's amazing how it's mainstream where like and it's anime was very niche for a long time, but Dragon Balls everybody knows Dragon Ball. It's like pretty much if you hear Dragon Ball, that's like that Japanese anime thing, right? Like people they might not know it, but they know it as soon as they see it.
Yeah, you know it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would argue that it's kind of like the equivalent of like like Superman, right? Where Superman is an icon known worldwide, even if though they're not like a Superman fan.
Sure. You just know.
You just know, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, like you said, he was really humble about it.
Yeah, that's
which
what I'm
is
saying.
odd. I mean, like you said, like any any modern shonen really takes it, like One Piece, Naruto, Bleach, all the modern stuff, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer, all that stuff really owes itself to Toriyama and Dragon Ball. Most of them admit that freely and stuff like that. A lot of them posted personal messages on their official Twitter accounts over the weekend and stuff like that, and that was crazy because a lot of them got to work with the person they admired and look up to as a kid, right? Which is kind of crazy because how often does something like that happen where somebody that you admired, you get to work alongside them and they view you as a equal rather than just like, oh yeah, you're my inferior younger kohai or something like that. So
yeah, I'm gonna just gotta put this guy in the frame here.
Yeah, nice Goku.
Sorry, I was gonna put him in my frame. I have like it's just I mean like I just can't even, like, it's crazy. I wonder, he has apparently like so many unfinished projects he was in the middle of too. It's just it's so sad to hear, like we I not just me, it sounded like not even just Dragon Ball related. We're talking about lots of projects. Dragon Quest, yeah, so it's crazy. So yeah, it's very sad news, unfortunately, and yeah, the world feels the loss, definitely.
Yeah, it's been kind of comforting in a way. I mean, obviously, he's a celebrity, but just seeing the impact he had on the world, like you see in Latin America, especially,
Latin America, so some Mexicans,
worship, like they worship Dragon Ball. I mean, there's even like I don't know how much you put faith in, but like they're like the Mexican cartel agreed to like a ceasefire and grievances and stuff like that, and then you see all these like parades and mourning things and stuff like that, and you're just like, damn, this is one dude, right? Like that's just insane to me. But I mean, yeah, like Corey was saying, like it was such an iconic cultural thing that it surpasses genre, right? Because I would argue that without Dragon Ball, like anime would be probably 10, 20, 30 years behind. Outside of the Japanese market, right? Like, I know when we
it
were
would not be where it is today.
Yeah, absolutely, would not be where it is. Like, one of our friends is a high school's teacher, and he's like, yeah, dude, like anime club has like so many people in it. Like, it's not even a thing. Like, I talk to my students about anime all the freaking time, and they ask me about for suggestions and stuff like that. I'm like, what the like. When I was a teenager, there was no there was like a Japanese culture club at best, right? And it was just like all different things. I'm just like, that's just insane for me to see, like within that lifetime, be like, oh yeah, some nerdy niche thing to like, yeah, it's just on like Hulu and Netflix and Disney Plus and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Yep. So all right,
and we're getting movies in the theaters too. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Let's So all right. Let's talk about what we've been watching now and get into the podcast here. So I'll kick it off. I watched another episode of Shogun. Looks like there's only 6 episodes in the season. So that's what I'm sad about, because there will be no second season from what I saw in the news. And that's okay, because it sounds like it's a concise story from the book. The book ends and there's nothing else after that. So it's I'm kind of interested. I never read the book, so I don't know how this ends. But episode 4 I just finished up, and that came out today, and it was excellent episode. Fantastic show. Visually, it looks amazing. Acting is amazing. Special effects look really good for a Hulu FX TV thing. So I'm very good actually, because they had a fight sequence here, and it's just like, oof, yeah, it's brutal. So that's for of note. That's pretty much it for me. I think nothing really to talk about besides like old. Oh, I watched Dragon Ball Super. Obviously, started watching more Super because I never really finished that, so I started watching a little more of that. Just doing. I think it's a filler. The goo guy in the second part. That's a filler arc or no?
Goo guy. I don't.
The guy that absorbs like Vegeta, and then Vegeta disappears if he in a certain amount of time. He takes their powers essentially.
Oh, maybe then. I don't.
Yeah,
Super.
I think
so
it's. I think it's.
point.
I think it. Yeah, I know. I think it's just a filler. It feels like it's a filler. It definitely. It feels like. Yeah, it feels like it. But I watched it anyways. I was like, whatever. I'm gonna watch this. So, cool. All right, that's it for me. Tony.
Nothing for me. Just playing a lot of Final Fantasy. So.
Okay. All right. Corey.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a bad week for watching stuff. I haven't really just caught up on a couple more anime. So.
For me. I mean, I played a lot of a game. Mike, how about you? Anything? No. All right. That's it for what we've been watching. Let's move on. I don't know box office. Nothing. Well, we had a great second week for Dune. Yeah. Dune
a modern great second week.
I mean, in comparison to what?
No. I get you. I'm just
percentage wise,
absolutely.
44% drop is very good.
No, that's amazing. That's a great drop, especially for a 2.5 hour movie.
Over 2.5 hour movie.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda debuted at number 1 though, almost $60 million. Almost $60 million. That's impressive.
That's pretty impressive for how long it's been.
Yeah. I guess you just kind of time it right with tapping into sequels. That's more important than it is getting a sequel out. It's like getting the timing right, it seems like. Because I feel like Kung Fu Panda 3 just fell off the planet. Nobody even really knew it was made. But 4, they're promoting it like crazy. What's that, Mike?
I didn't know there was three Kung Fu Pandas before this.
Yeah. So, but Dune, 157 million domestically. Worldwide, I think they're on pace for 700 million. I think, right, or something like that. 750. Yes. So.
Yeah, it's good about sequel timing though, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go too long without a sequel, right? Because I think we've seen from Lego Movie, just like I think the audience moved on or dropped off. Or...
you missed it.
Man, come on.
I think
that's like the obvious one as well.
I also think I think it's important also for kids stuff too. Like I think you have to time that right for kids.
Incredibles.
Yeah, Incredible. Like I mean, I didn't personally care for Incredibles 2 that much. I know it still did well, but it's like, man, that was such a.
But it felt weird that it's directly following the events of the first movie, but it's like coming so much later for real time.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
Toy Story always gets away with it, having these very long breaks.
Yeah, well, I think Toy Story is the one exception. I mean, that's not the rule, right?
Yeah.
I know that
Inside Out 2's coming.
It's like the timeline you get for these animated big budget movies. It seems like anyway.
Some of them.
That's how it is.
We're getting more delays though with some movies.
Yeah. That's leading into some of the news here. We have Batman 2, which was supposed to be October of next year, is now a full year more delayed, so October 2020.
Matt Reeves Batman.
The Matt Reeves. Yeah, the Matt Reeves one. I guess the official statement is to give Superman its own time zone.
Official? Is it?
I don't know. That's what I was getting from their response, was that they wanted to give.
Oh, it said that it was due to the strike, that there was no script, and that they're not going in production until 2025.
I mean, I brought that up too. I was like, how does this not getting pushed back because of the strike?
Well, that's what we were talking about, because it was changed, but I thought that this was also based on the fact of moving out of the year too, because the delay to 2025 obviously we knew about because of the strike, and then I thought that was am I remembering that? I thought that's what I had, but anyways, maybe I'm wrong. So I thought it was all based on that.
They're just telling you more reasons is they don't have a script finished yet.
Yeah,
and
I knew they were still working on it
till next year. So
I mean, if you look at
in production till next year, you don't want to rush things, I suppose.
Yeah,
but on the back burner for
that's true.
New
we got Joker. We got Joker 2 this year, anyways, right?
Yeah, within a ridiculous budget.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what they're thinking with that one.
I don't know either. Budgets are insane. Just to tie that together with, let's talk about some good news real quick. Budgets. Godzilla -1. won Best Visual Effects at the Oscars.
Yeah.
The visual
talk
effects were ridiculous for that movie.
We don't even know the budget because he won't, and I don't even blame the director. I don't even blame them. Do not tell anybody what you did for this movie because you know it was super cheap. But that's something. There's two contrasts here. Like people were raving about Dune 2's production based on its budget. It was like 165, and they're like, "Oh, it did so good compared for 165." I'm like, that's a big budget still, isn't it? Like I'm not crazy here, right? They were raving how good it was with its budget. I'm like, no. I mean, that's,
anytime you're close to 200 million, you are taking
Yeah.
a fucking big risk.
yeah. Like that's all I saw this weekend is it raving about what they spent on the budget and how it's doing in the theaters, and I'm like, no. It's close to 200. It's not like 300 plus, but you know,
We're just comparing it to the recent Marvel movies, I guess, where
sure.
they spent more money and looked worse.
Just because the budget's high, that doesn't make it the other. Just because the other one's insanely high doesn't make your budget better. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever.
But I mean, again,
But-
it's like how much budget are you actually allocating to the special effects? Like how much does that? You can say, oh, this
There's
is
a lot of big namers in Dune.
No.
big
No, there wasn't
names?
big paychecks.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm
It has
asking.
more-
No, I was Jim's like,
Not big
names.
paychecks. Not big paychecks though. Like they're not paying.
Are they getting paid
is-
10,
is-
15, 20 million dollars?
No.
Okay.
They're-
I don't know about that. There's a lot of big names in that movie. It's kind
I mean, they're not getting paid like Marvel money. That's
No.
for sure.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
that's
I knew that.
part of what
but-
inflates the Marvel budget.
Right.
It's the big.
There's
Exactly.
only like one person who gets a lot of money in each.
No,
movie,
I mean,
you know?
if you're in a third film or a fourth film, you're getting a pay raise.
So you think who's in Dune? There's what's his name?
Timothy Chalamet.
Yes, is
Zendaya.
still?
Zendaya's in it. She might be the highest paid. Thinking
No,
about like,
she's not highest paid.
yeah, I'm thinking like
And then who are the older people in the movie?
Well,
it's Bardem, right? Javier
Javier
Bardem,
Bardem.
who's a
Christopher
big actor
Walken
too.
is
Christopher
in it.
Walken is in it. Yep.
Lawrence Pugh's in it.
But Christopher Walken's not making a big paycheck.
Dave Bautista, Josh Brolin.
Batista might be getting something
Josh
big.
Brolin.
No.
Josh
no.
Brolin gets paid pretty well too. Yeah.
And none of these people are making that.
But they're
much
nothing.
money.
We're no, you know. Hey. Oh, and I mean, hi. We have a viewer. Welcome to the stream.
Mhm.
So we are
But
talking
no, I mean,
budgets right
like,
now.
The Dune cast is not making anywhere near as much as the Marvel movies.
No, definitely not. So, all right. Let's see.
What I was
here.
really trying to lead you on, and you missed it,
Go ahead.
Jim, was
What I missed.
a sequel movie being announced for only 2 years out. Mario movie.
Oh, the Mario. Yeah. Well, I was trying to leave that, but we can
It
talk
was
about the Mario
related
stuff.
to animation.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yeah. So the Mario movie was kind of announced. Mario Day was 2 days ago.
March 10th.
Yeah, March 10th. So Mario Day was 2 days ago. I didn't look at what day it was today. It was the 12th or 11th. So, anyways, so the movie sequel is coming. Was it 20? I'm sorry, I don't have it open in front of me here. It's on the. Sorry, wrong thing.
2026.
I'm in the middle of reading. I'm reading the.
April
Yeah,
or-
April 3rd, 2026. So it's
Yeah.
about 3 years for its sequel, right? Full production.
Yep.
Mm.
It's pretty good. I
Yeah, it's
mean,
pretty good.
considering the turnaround time we're seeing for some of these animated movies, you know,
Pretty
it
fast, really.
yeah, like I said to Tony, we were talking about on Discord, is that like, yeah, you almost have to start your production before you're finished with some, you know, cleaning up the last one almost. That's really what you have to start. Just probably preliminary writing and animation for it, but wow. Yeah, so that's impressive though. It absolutely is a 3-year turnaround for this, and I'm excited for it. And by the way, yeah, looks like that's going to be their next Illumination animated movie, because if that's what they're working on, you know, you're not going to get Donkey Kong or whatever. You know, that's what it seems like, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was personally speculating maybe they would go on a Donkey Kong, because I mean, usually if a movie does really well like that, you hear about the sequel being announced almost right away, right? Like it's like,
Yeah.
cool,
Mhm.
like this is in production already. It's like, oh, okay, great. But they didn't, and it's like kind of crazy because I mean, it did $1 billion within what, you know, three-ish months or whatever like that. It was only one of 2 movies, you know, including Barbie that did $1 billion last year, and they just had like kind of radio silence. So from both parties, it was kind of weird. So I was like, oh, well, maybe they want to do Donkey Kong first. because it's all about business, right? It's all about big companies making money, and we know Universal is doing
expanding the IP,
expanding
Yep.
the Nintendo world with a Donkey Kong portion of the amusement park. So that's why
Yeah.
I'm speculating Donkey Kong. But now maybe it's Donkey Kong just has a bigger role in the sequel. Maybe that's it.
Could be. Could be.
Maybe it's Super Mario
So-
versus Donkey Kong or something like that. I don't know, because they just came out with that Mario versus Donkey Kong remake too. So
All right. Let's see. We got good news from the Netflix side. Avatar, the Last Airbender, got renewed for seasons 2 and 3, which is very much not like Netflix, right?
No.
I mean, that is not Netflix
No,
like.
it's really
whatsoever.
nice because we already have the blueprint for this show, so we know where it should be going and what they should be doing, and to know that you're going to get the next 2 books of the show is really nice because you can then really focus on the stories and leading into what's going to happen and not feel like you're getting, like for you, Jim, you're like, oh, I'm not going to bother because you're not going to get these
Happens a lot for me, yeah.
storylines completed or whatnot. So
Yeah,
it's
it
cool
feels-
that they did that.
yeah, it feels like maybe in part that was like this is maybe a shift in Netflix's direction where they're like, yeah, we need to reassure people that we're gonna finish this off, right? Because it's like
Mm-hmm.
nobody wants to be like, oh, I'm gonna just not watch this because if it gets canceled, then I wasted all that time and whatnot, energy for nothing, no reason, stuff
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, numbers wise, it did fantastic. I posted them in the Discord. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but just
Well, they were the highest
phenomenal
that they've
numbers.
had.
Yeah, highest in a long time, and bigger than One Piece, which was they considered a success and quickly greenlit that season 2. So
Yeah.
good to see. Because again, I liked the first season. It wasn't perfect by any means of the imagination, but it wasn't a total dud either, like the Shyamalan movie. Anybody that argues that it's bad and whatnot, I would kind of question their if they're arguing in good faith and stuff like that, because they're
Planning to
nowhere
complain.
near enough, right? It's like I get
You've
like
seen
it's not
bad
right.
Airbender.
You've seen bad, and this is not bad, right? You could not
Yeah.
like some of the changes they did. And I personally, understand that, but I also do think they made some improvements, and I think people are less willing to admit that kind of thing, especially when the source material is so revered in the fandom.
Right. I think, and that's the other thing too, is you have people that are so in love with what was there. It's hard to like accept something that's a little different too. It's like, oh, well, this is not exactly the way it was there, or it's too much like it, and you can't win there. So you just got to just trust in the process and make sure you do what you can to make the best show that you want to make. But I do like the way they announced it to the cast. I think
Ooh,
Daniel Dick.
that was one of the things where I was like, I kind of
Little
felt
trolly.
a little bad, right? Because it's like you're talking to young actors and actresses where like they're not. I don't think any of them are like 18. I could be wrong on that. But like they had what's his name?
Daniel.
Daniel
Is it Daniel Kim or something?
Yeah.
Oh,
They had him do it over like a Zoom call, and he presented it as like, so I know.
well,
you
we're
guys
not getting season 2.
We're getting season 2 and 3, and it's like, oh damn! Like you kind of, I get you trolled, but like seeing the reaction on their face, I was like, oh, that's kind of mean, right? Like for a lot of them, this is their first big breakout.
Oh no, I mean
kind of
that's
thing.
it's nice too, is that they're all unknowns where you're like, oh, this is that person from that thing, so it's like you can kind of just imagine them as these characters.
Yeah.
But no, I they got their renewal, so
Yeah.
They did.
But
I mean,
it's like a brief moment.
I
of
get-
like,
I get the
oh,
point, though.
I get it.
okay.
maybe it wasn't well thought out. Like maybe they should have thought like,
Yeah,
maybe we should-
whatever. It's like okay.
I get their idea though. I get the idea. Yeah.
I'm sure they're more happy, but like at the same time, it's like, can you imagine like if you were like the second, like, all right, you're the second Aang, and it's like, man, I'm putting my all into this because I don't want to be put in with the first Aang, right? Whereas it's like,
Well,
I
he wasn't
wanna
Aang,
do-
he was
he was on,
so-
yeah, I know. It's like I don't want to be put in that same circle, right? Like I want to be close to the animation version and stuff like that. And then you're like, oh yeah, it bombed. It's like fucking A,
Yeah.
like pissed and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Bethesda's Todd Howard says he had to reveal Fallout 5 secrets to the creators of the Fallout TV show to make sure there weren't any plot similarities, which I guess works. I mean, we were talking about this last week with them being like their own world, like their own like Fallout 5 essentially, because they're able to do whatever they want with this show. But I guess the fear would be like, oh crap, what if they accidentally, do what we're going to do
Step
for
on
Fallout 5?
toes of-
Yeah. Well, so I
of a
get that.
non-existent
So,
game.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure it's
I
in the
don't believe-
pre-planning, but yes.
I don't believe Todd anymore with anything,
Hmm.
like planning wise. I honestly think he saw something and he's like, oh, I want to do that, and that's why he's like, oh, this was my plan. Because
Yeah.
I honestly don't think this game is coming out for like 15 years, so I can't imagine anything is written yet, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably not. Well, we'll probably see it within 10 years, I'd say, because I mean, we know Elder Scrolls is next, and that's probably 3-ish, 4-ish years away, and then you give another 5 years after that. So yeah, probably 10 years for Fallout. But I mean, there's a lot to call him out on bullshit because he does like to be the face of the company and everything, obviously. But I don't see a reason for him to lie about that either. It's gonna be like really weird to.
I told you, it's like he saw something. He's like, oh, I want to do that. He's like, oh, this was my plan. I don't know
Why? Like, who's gonna be like,
because
10 years Todd stole this idea from the Fallout show.
Because he didn't, the way if he frames it right, that's how he's doing it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't.
They don't know what he wrote or didn't write already.
Well, I mean, first of all, it wouldn't be him writing it. It's just there's obviously pre-development going on at some level, right? Because Bethesda is big enough to do that.
Mhm.
And
it could be just something simple.
76. So
Too like we had this idea that we want for this game that's kind of like the linchpin of what this story for 5 will be. Like just don't do anything with that for the show. Like and that's all he had to do. Like, that's all he had to say.
Maybe I'm half joking, but Todd.
no, absolutely, I get it.
bullshit
Todd
artist.
is he's right up there
I
with
got
like
it.
Phil Spencer and stuff like that. But
But I
They're in the
will
same
say
bed.
though, the extended trailer has improved my perception of this.
Whoa.
It looks good. I really hope it's good.
I mean, I think it
really
looks
do.
good. It does.
Because
I
no,
hope it's good.
it's
They got the look
got-
right, so
Yeah.
just have to see
Yes,
if the
and it's
story's
got-
there.
It's got more of the tone that I was looking for, the sort of like tongue-in-cheekness that comes with Fallout.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch this at
Cool.
least at first.
Mike.
We'll see.
Mike, what? Go on. What were you gonna
Oh
say?
no, I was just gonna say, just like it seems like the buzz around it is pretty positive. I think they had like a pre-launch party or something, and like Elon Musk showed up or whatever somehow, and just like, what the fuck are you doing here, bro? And like, apparently he was like dying to like be on the set somehow in an episode. Or something like that. Like, no, it had to get him like escorted out and whatnot. But,
Wow.
No, it's kind of crazy. And then, kind of separately, I didn't mention, but like, I did get to play Magic: The Gathering collaborated with Fallout, so those decks came out last week. So
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was new. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my
I forgot that was coming out.
My deck was Dog Meat, the faithful companion.
Cool.
Little pooch, so that was fun. But yeah.
All right. Mike, so you'll be watching that one in April probably. So
Yeah.
are you watching? You can be watching X-Men '97 coming March 20th.
That is my number one thing I'm looking forward to. But there's somewhat concerning news today.
Well,
about-
is it concerning for the show? I don't know. Bo DeMaio.
I don't know, but the guy he was like the showrunner, wasn't he?
He was the showrunner, and he was also in charge of Blade. I think, right? He was fired today. Of today, or was it yesterday? Today? Probably over the weekend.
The story came.
The story
out
broke today. I don't know when he was exactly fired, but he will not attend the premiere for the show was tomorrow.
Oh, he is being erased from existence, like even his social media
That's-
presence.
Yeah, that's
So-
why I'm like, I'm not sure this is show related. Guys, do you feel like this is show related, or this is something personal
doesn't-
that they got
I
rid of
mean,
him at for?
Seems not show related because it seems like odd timing for it to happen
No,
now. So it doesn't
but
seem like it's show related to me.
No, I wouldn't think so. But I'm more worried like the guy who put all this together won't be there.
Like, even if they were having creative differences, which we've heard with Blade, like let's say they were.
or the guy who put all this together probably did something heinous. Like
That's what I'm
it
saying,
seems
like,
he did something heinous.
If you're having
Don't
creative
know yet,
differences,
but-
he steps down from that role after this premiere. Like after this is over with, then he steps down from the Blade thing, and that's how that usually works. You don't just fire somebody like off. That's it. So like usually that means something bad. We don't know what that is. We're not going to speculate. But I'm just going with the signs, right?
I mean, he
So,
deleted his own social media, so to me, that's kind of a damning sign, right? Like, you don't
Yeah.
do that unless
Yeah.
you're trying to, like, either like not be found, or you're trying to have like not have
No,
your post history looked at. on
that
screen
that
and
or
stuff
you
like
don't
that.
or you don't want to hear the crap that's going to go down shortly.
Right. And again, I don't want to accuse anything, but like, it's not really a good look, and Marvel's very. I mean, we could cite the Majors case. Like, they waited until he was found like actually guilty to fire him and make a PR statement about it. So for them to fire him, it sounds like probably was good. I mean, I'm just assuming here, right? I could be wrong on that, but I'm just assuming something was about to come out or whatever, and they're like, nope, we don't want this bad PR when the show launch, right? Like a week before it's still kind of bad, but it's not as bad as like next week you find out like, oh, creator of the X-Men 97 show is a, fill in the blank. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to slander, but just fill in the blank, right? Because like then it'd be like, oh shit, this kind of like really brings down the show, right?
Yeah. So that's what I think, that get rid of that. But we'll see.
It might not even be that. Maybe he's just like, oh, I don't want to be famous. And had to break
or
down.
maybe
Who
he's not.
knows?
It could also just be he wasn't happy with the product and just deleted his account.
I don't know.
It's possible.
I mean, we'll give the benefit of the doubt until we get real information.
Yeah.
But it
And see the show.
doesn't look good.
And see the show. So,
Sure.
all right.
I mean, that's a separate issue, honestly. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys check out any of the Oscars at all? We talked about it earlier.
No,
but
I just watched the tweet.
I gotta say, I saw some of it. It was
Watch
actually
the
pretty
fucking
entertaining.
Oscars?
No, I didn't watch all of it. I watched some of it, and it was actually entertaining this year. I have to say, like, that's why I'm talking about it. Like, I got to tell you guys, it was actually entertaining. Like, it looks like they had a lot more fun with it than they've had in the past. And they had John Cena on stage naked for some reason. They had a nice bit with.
See him anyway.
Well, I mean, the reason was the.
There's a costume design award.
The costume designer. Well, no, the costume design guild is up for kind of like the writers and the actors did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know.
How important they are.
Yes.
Okay.
Negotiations.
Good for him then. And you had the Ryan Gosling singing "I'm Just Ken Again," which was a great performance. I did watch that. And you had Arnold and Danny DeVito there doing a little skit with Michael Keaton, who still got it. Like, I love that whole bit with them. That was great.
It was great. Yeah.
It looked like it was a lot more fun. And
that's good. I mean, that's how it should be. And actually, that I will say, out of the clips I did see online, I'm just like, damn, like, this is how an award show should go.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
maybe.
Yes. They
where
sprinkled
are all the
in
movie premieres. World premiere.
Yeah.
Inside Out 2 trailer, or
like, I usually hate this. We haven't talked about the Oscars in forever, and I don't care about the winners at this moment. I'm just talking about like just the show itself. From the clips I saw maybe a little bit in between because my stepdaughter was watching it. She wanted to watch it because Billie Eilish is like she's a big fan of that, and she won an Oscar. She won an Oscar as well. But so I was watching a little bit of it, and I will say that from what I watched, I was like, this is a lot more fun than this has been in the past, and I hope they stick with this format. I really do. So we'll see. But
and then I heard Al Pacino didn't even like announce the nominees; just like open the envelope.
Well, he said later on that they told him not to do that because they already had played through all of them. So he just they told him just to read the winner, and he's like, and his announcement was funny because he opened the envelope. And he's like, I'm seeing, and he announced the winner, and it's like, wait, does that mean they won, or does that mean that's what he's hoping for? So,
man.
Yeah,
Whatever.
so, but all right. That's gonna wrap up this episode. Oh,
breaking
wait,
news.
we got more? Breaking what do we got?
News.
Hit me.
Very rare. Venom 3 gets the title Venom: The Last Dance, starring Tom Hardy again, and moves up to October 25th, 2024. Reverse delay.
What? It's coming up this year?
Yeah, this October.
Well, it was already out. It's already coming out this year.
Well, yeah.
Was it? I thought it was. Was it? I thought it was early next year.
No, it's coming out this year,
November.
but it's just it was
2 weeks.
It's moving up a month.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks, whatever it was.
Very
I don't know what time in November, but
I thought it was.
Yeah, it was supposed to be this year.
Okay.
Last Dance though sounds pretty final.
Final?
I will see.
Who would want to do more than 3 of those movies? So.
I'm gonna get Michael Jordan in there and some bowls. I don't know.
After Madam Web, that's yeah. There was a nice joke at the Oscars about that too.
Was there?
Of course there was.
Yeah, there was another one. Someone hit that one too.
There was
It's
something.
the Razzies. The Razzies are gonna be all over that movie.
The one thing I did see was apparently the guy who won soundtrack or composer or whatever for Oppenheimer said something like he thanked his parents for like getting him instruments when he was a child instead of video games. So that set off a little like mini tirade on social media, and I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, you could have just ended the sentence at thanks to my parents for buying me instruments. Like, You have to say instead of video games. Like you can do both. There are a lot of people that do both. Whatever.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Fuck that.
All right. Yeah. All right. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the Moviecast, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, we are live on Twitch Tuesday nights. Please join us live if you can. Start at 8 o'clock. Gamecast comes up afterwards. That's coming up next. If you're watching us on YouTube, also smash that subscribe and like button as well. We do appreciate it, guys. That's where we post all the content. It stays over there. So stay there. We'll see you guys on the Gamecast. We're out.